Okay, say like 5 sentences in Indonesia
Uh,
to prove your Indonesianness.
Oke. Saya Chris, saya bule kafir. Saya bule komika favorit kalian.
Okay. That's 3. We got 2 more.
Aku cincau kamu dan mau my tour. Please come and buy the tickets.
Selamat pagi, siang, sore, dan malam teman-teman semuanya. Selamat datang kembali di Senang Ngobrol, di mana kita bakalan ngobrol dengan narasumber, membicarakan hal-hal secara random dan seru. Kali ini agak sedikit spesial, karena saya harus bicara dengan bahasa Inggris. Kita datang dengan narasumber impor, Italiano, with this,
Yes.
right?
Numero uno.
Numero uno. Your cappuccino, numero uno. Alright? So we have Chris Giacobbe.
Oh wow, that's
That's
perfect.
good, right?
Perfect pronunciation.
I mean, you slapped me before for saying it wrong, so...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now you learn.
Giacobbe. Alright. Chris. Applause dong, applause. Applause. Chris.
Not even forced applause even.
Yeah, we got 8 people here who are on my payroll, so they have to applause.
Okay.
Okay.
So every time you say applause,
Applause.
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 It works.
Easy, right? Cool. Okay. So Chris, welcome. I don't want to say welcome to Indonesia. You've been living in Indonesia for how long now?
4 years.
For 4 years.
Almost 5 now.
So you go straight from Italy to Bali.
Yes.
Why Bali?
Why not? Bali, like everywhere, pretty much in the world, and also in Italy, we have this idea of Bali, like the
Paradise.
Exactly. Everyone dreams of quitting their job and moving to Bali.
Really?
Yes, and I did that.
What's your previous job again?
Sales manager.
For what company?
I cannot say because I signed an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement.
Field of industry, maybe?
Tourism. The last one was tourism.
Oh.
Actually, that is a weird story because I just changed company, and this was the dream job. You know,
Okay.
super high pay. And then 2 days before I was supposed to start, the vice president called me and says, "We made a mistake. We don't have a job for you."
Oh.
I was like, "Yeah, but I quit my previous job, and I'm supposed to move to Madrid in 2 days. And so, what are we gonna do?" And they said, "This is 1 year salary. Fuck off." And I was like, "Okay, I'm moving to Bali."
Oh, that's good. Do you have any other job like that? Like, you know?
No, unfortunately, but with that money that they gave me, I just said, you know what, I'm gonna retire and move to Bali.
Yeah, that's what I meant. If you have any other job opening like that,
Oh yeah,
where you don't have to
No,
work.
actually, this company, which was $1 billion company, got bankrupt during COVID.
Okay, that's your clue, guys. If you want to know where Chris worked before, just find out a company working in tourism in Italy with an office in Madrid
Fuck.
that got bankrupt during COVID.
Yes. So if I would have kept the job, I would have been jobless but without the money.
So it's better for you.
Yeah.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, it turned out
Of
great.
course. Oh, yeah, tourism and COVID, they don't go well together, right?
Exactly.
And did you have that option of Bali from, like, is it on top of your mind, or
Yes,
do you?
and I've never been in Bali before. I've never been in
Never?
I've never been in Asia, as a matter of fact. But since I was, I think, 16-year-old, I was like, you know, one day I'll move to Bali. No idea why. No idea why.
And moving to Bali, you started a comedy club,
Yes.
or a comedy community, so to say.
Yes, both. Yeah.
Both, right? And then we got some friends going on in there. Stand Up Indo Bali is around, but you're specializing on the expats,
Yes.
the English speaking.
Yeah, exactly. Because of course, stand-up in Bali is great, but they do in Bahasan, Indonesia. There was no English scene in Bali, but there were a lot of requests, a lot of people that wanted comedy in English, and that's where I came in.
Okay. Do you remember your first gig in Bali?
Vaguely, a little bit. Like the first few gigs, there were very few people that came to watch us.
Where is it? Just paint a picture.
So it was in, because it started as just a friend of mine saying, you know what, you should tell jokes. I was like, okay, let's organize. We went to this venue and they said, okay, if you can bring at least 20 people, we'll give you the space.
Okay.
And so the first show there was 20 people, the second show 50, the third show 100, the fourth show 200, and then it just exploded.
Oh, cool. And what was, when you're talking about venue, are we talking about
A bar?
A bar?
Yeah.
Okay. Like some sort. So your friends own bars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, we get an empty mic,
Exactly.
we don't have to pay you, so just bring people in, get some cut from the drinks and stuff like that.
No, well, at first it wasn't even a cut from the drink. It's like, we'll give you 2 free cocktails and
Holy
that's
shit,
it.
that's cheap.
Yeah.
Two
Bule
free-
mentality.
Bule
always
mentality.
free.
Anything in free is fine for us, right? But you have that 1 year pay from that big company in Madrid.
Well, at that point, I was almost finished the pay because I started after 2 years that I was in Bali. So for 2 years, I did nothing. And then I started.
So for 2 years, you were actually just mooching off that money.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, cool. What makes you decide that? I mean, I know you're saying like your friend told you to just tell jokes and stuff like that, right? But do you always have an affinity towards comedy or towards public speaking?
Yeah.
I know you're a sales manager.
Yeah, and in Bali, I used to do public speaking.
Is it with Toastmaster?
Yes, I was the president of 2 clubs of Toastmasters in
Oh,
Bali.
that explains. And then you decide comedy. That's my way.
Yeah, because that's the thing. When you do public speaking or motivational speaking, like the reaction that you get, even when you get tears or when you get people inspired,
It's different.
it doesn't come close are people laughing.
That's true.
And also is
I
like
agree.
making people laugh is so much more risky.
Yeah.
Because if you do a motivational speaker, people will listen to you or not, they will pretend to listen to you. And after what you say, they clap and that's it.
Yeah.
People either laugh or don't laugh when you do comedy. Like they don't fake, because when you do stand-up comedy, they're like, okay, make me laugh, clown, monkey, dance.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also you can tell 3, 4, 5 jokes in a row that work and then one, nothing.
Yes.
And that's the worst
Kind of
feeling in the world.
Yeah.
But when people laugh, it's the best feeling in the world.
I agree.
So it's almost like a drug. It's very addictive.
I agree on that. Okay. And then, but I believe that when in Toastmaster, because I know that whenever you're doing public speaking, you have a lot of routes, right? Like
Yep.
you can go to the motivational one, you can go to the storytelling ones, and then I can see you're doing like a little bit of comedy here and there.
Yes.
Pretty much like what I did with my seminars and webinars, because I believe that people listen to me more when I make them laugh. Right?
It's true. But also when you do motivational speaking, if you then tell a few jokes, it breaks the tension. And so it keeps the attention
Yes.
on you again. Absolutely.
Okay. So if we have to pinpoint one person who's the most driving for you to go into comedy, can you name one person?
I think the person that up until now helped me the most with my comedy career is Mosidik.
Mosidik.
Yeah.
So from the very first you started.
Not from the Mosidik came a little bit late because we made waves in the comedy scene with our comedy English. And so then comedians that spoke English moved to Bali just because there were more opportunities in Bali than in Jakarta.
I agree.
And that's when Mo came in, and then he brought me in Comedy Central, and he mentored me a little bit, and he opened the door of the entertainment industry in Indonesia. And then, of course, by myself, I joined Suchi, and now we're here.
Good that you mentioned that. Suchi.
Yes.
Why? I mean, we had like 9 seasons. Nobody spoke English except Reggie was last year.
No, Reggie was
this year as well, right?
Eliminated.
I mean, Reggie was. He's a very good friend of mine. We even lived together before, not in that way, but it's like he was revered as
the English guy,
the first English-speaking stand-up comedian in Indonesia, and even he did won nothing with Suchi, and then suddenly this year you and Annie and Reggie, and there's another one who's also making it. Fajar.
No, but he didn't join Suchi.
Oh, Fajar didn't join Suchi.
But that's the thing. This one was the first year that Compass TV says you can perform in English.
That's why. And why do you want to join? I mean, you already had a good life there, like 20, 50, 100, 200. You already have your scene. Why do you want to go somewhere,
Is growth mentality. Because in my mind, I already conquered Bali. In Bali, pretty much everyone knows me. I'm the comedy guy, both in the expat scene, especially the expat people. And so what was the next step? So in 2022, I started touring. I went to Australia to expand in the Western world. And I was like, okay, 2022 is the year that I have to make a breakthrough in the whole Indonesia comedy scene, and that's what I did with Suci. So as soon as they said Suci, I was like, okay. Because in January 2022, I worked for Compass for the first time.
Okay.
For a show for MoveU.
Okay.
It was me, Oza.
Oza, of course.
Me, Oza, Mo, and I don't remember who else, and Van Daniel as well.
You know what? That one person that you forgot is going to watch this and is going to hate.
Duto.
Oh, Duto. Okay, I'm fine. Duto Triaji. Okay.
Yes, it was Duto.
Otherwise, he will try to kill you in any kind of way.
It's okay. I'm bigger than Duto. I can take him easy.
Yeah.
And that's where I met the producer of Compass, and I started saying, hey, you know, why don't we do a Suci in Bahasa Inggris? You know, I started picking at their ear, and then they, of course, decided by themselves. They don't need my opinion. They said, okay, let's try with English, and I went through all the selections and juara tiga.
Applause.
Applause.
Juara tiga ngerti ya? Juara
Yeah, of course.
Sometimes, yeah. But okay, so you decided because you want to conquer, but I have to be very honest with you. I watch very little of
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, especially your show, right? So, but, yeah.
You skip forward.
Yeah, I mean, even in YouTube, I skip yours more than I skip ads. But anyway, yeah, my point is, no, just kidding. But my point is like, you do a lot of like observations being a bule in Indonesia, right?
Yes.
Do you think it's going to be a problem when you're going overseas?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I don't do the same jokes.
Okay.
Because people just wouldn't understand them.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, the joke that I do in Bali are different than the jokes that I do in Jakarta. Because in Bali is its own ecosystem. So every place they have their own inside jokes, basically.
Agree.
And that's why you need to do research to kind of adapt the joke to the audience in a way.
Okay. So I was talking to Mo before. I don't even know if he remembers. I'm just name dropping him here. So it's just like I remember talking to him. There were two types of like comedians.
Okay.
Like international comedian and like the world comedian. Like the guy who goes on tour making his own jokes known everywhere. Like Kevin Hart, for example. Like everywhere he goes. Local content is very small.
Oh, absolutely.
And then everything else it does is because it's very observational, talking about his divorce, talking about his downfall in comedy before, about that Oscar stuff and everything else. It's just funny globally. Like everybody agrees it's funny, right? Do you have a specific comedian in mind that you wanna, like I wanted to be like this guy or even beyond this guy?
Well, it depends what we measure comedian with. Because, for example, Kevin Hart, right now and in the last, I think, decade at least, after Seinfeld, is the most successful comedian as far as money-wise.
Yeah, because he makes another shows and everything else.
Not only, he's a movie star,
he's
a serial entrepreneur, and like he fills stadiums.
Yeah.
So he's one of the GOATs, at least as like at the end of the year, you see how much money he made, he's always on top of the list.
Of course, yeah.
If you just think about being funny, it's not necessarily my favorite comedian.
Yeah, I agree.
But if I could become half of 1/10 of what Kevin Hart is...
But you're double his size.
That's the only thing I have going on over Kevin Hart.
Okay, all right. So if you wanted like...
He's an inspiration because this is the truth. Many comedians are lazy. Because once you consider yourself an artist, then you start being lazy.
Okay.
Kevin Hart is a worker. Like Panji, he's a worker. And that's why they have so much success, because they never do nothing. They always work all the time. So that's the mentality you need to... And really in every business that you do, like you need to keep grinding, you need to keep hustling. When you, like, if you think you arrived at the top, then you should just retire, because then you're not going to improve anymore.
Because you think you're at the top of your game.
Exactly.
You've reached your ceiling and you accept it.
Like when a comedian think, oh, now I'm really funny, is when he stopped being funny.
Okay. If I may ask, so you've been around 5 years doing this, right? Around 4 or 5 years, possibly. Yeah. All right. So how we usually measure, like we have this long of a duration of materials that are like stage ready. You know? So in 5 years, how long have you prepared for like a special show? Like 2 hours material? Do you have it?
I have more.
You have more?
Because in Bali, I started doing something very unique. Because it was also during the period of the pandemic. But Bali was kind of open. You could go to shows.
No, it's very strict Bali, very strict in health protocol. Indonesia loves protocol kesehatan.
No, that Bali was a different.
No, Indonesia good, Bali good.
Bali is good. I love Bali. But that's the thing, because we had a lot of recurrent people that would come week after week. In my club, there was a rule: every week you have to bring completely new material.
Holy shit, that's against everything we know in Indonesian stand-up.
No, but even in the US. But so and it had its pros and cons. The pro is that your mind become very quick. You write jokes every week, and you have so much material. The con is that you don't have time to really make it
finesse it.
Yes.
All right, and I mean but do you find it helpful? Because in Suchi you have to write new things every single week. Right?
That was helpful for me in Suchi. The problem is that in Suchi I was completely underprepared because I didn't know nothing about Suchi. Because Suchi was much harder than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Both physically, emotionally, and also finding new things. Because if you follow Suchi, if you're a comedian who follows Suchi, you know that in the final, they're going to ask you to talk about being a champion. At some point, they're going to talk to you.
They're going to give you topics.
Exactly. So you can just prepare some topics and have them ready before Suchi. I didn't have that.
So you think that the other comedians might have that?
And also the other disadvantage that I had is that during Suchi, I was just confused all the time. Because I don't speak bahasan.
And you don't understand them at all.
I had no idea what was going on 90% of the time.
And you don't know which one works, which one didn't.
I didn't even know who was funny in Suchi. Like if you ask me who's funny in Suchi, I have no idea.
That's why you're number 3.
So I also hear, because the only thing I could do is hear the reaction of the audience. But for example, I remember there was one time maybe with Hilam, but whoever it was, he got a huge reaction. I was like, oh, that must have been a huge punchline. What was that? Now I just blanked. That's why people are applauding.
Yeah.
But from me, I thought he was doing very good, but then he did very bad.
Yeah. I think that's the case, though. I mean, I talked this with comedians before, like few years ago, and you know what? Like, there's not much comedy competition going on that we can take examples from, you know, because like Last Comic Standing is like
it's
very different. Like,
and also is a completely new experience for a comedian, because if we do a gig together, we're not in a competition. I want you to do well, and I want to do well. If I am before you, I want to do well because then I warm them up. If I'm after you, I want you to do well because then the crowd is warm.
Yeah.
And so it's such a weird feeling. That's why mentally Suchi is so hard. Because like they're your friend, but you're against them, but like you like them, but you're like, if you do shit, I'm very happy about it because then I don't go home.
Yeah, but if they do shit, it might also affect your performance because the audience might have been like, is this the level that we're going on with? Right, okay. So if you remember, what's the most memorable material that you have from Suchi only? Which one do you think, like, because you're playing with the reaction of people, right?
Yes. So I think the biggest reaction, and because my style also over Suchi, I mean, you didn't watch my shows. So
I did a little.
So fuck you a little bit.
5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But over Suchi, I changed my style. I Indonesianized myself.
Yeah, I can see that on the end.
So because I realized that the crowd that I had in front of me didn't really understand some of my jokes. They were too BULE-centric. And so I think one of the biggest reaction I had, and that's why it's the title of my tour, it was a joke so there was one of the other comedians, which is Gautama, the Juara Dua, and he became famous for doing tebak-tebakan.
Yes.
And so I did a parody of one of these jokes, but adding my flavor because I became the cappuccino cincau guy. The joke is Aku cincau kamu was the punchline, and that's one of the biggest punchline that I got because it was a tebak-tebakan.
Okay, because you were also doing like what Gautama signature is.
Like it's probably the worst level of joke that I've done, and at the same time it got me the biggest reaction.
Okay, because I think you're going to the level that people are most acceptable with.
No, and also for the Indonesian people, seeing a bule doing effort and try to do
go to the
something
level.
very Indonesian, that's
Yeah.
appreciated.
I mean, we're very happy with Barack Obama saying nasi goreng, so
Exactly.
that one is on pretty much the same level. So yeah. So you're Barack Obama level, so it's fine. So you can go study at BSE. He doesn't understand that joke. He doesn't understand.
I'm just smiling to be polite.
Yeah. You were saying that you cannot fake laughter. You just did. Come on, man.
No, I was smiling. I wasn't laughing.
No, you were. We can see the camera. You were chuckling. But anyway, okay. So,
When was the last time you did stand-up?
well, this is my podcast, so I'm going to ask a question. Okay, cool. So, no, but
Applause.
it was like about 6-7 months ago. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Not
it's
that
been a
long.
while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time, most of the time now, I put my stand-up and comedy routine, just slip it in on my seminars, classes,
Smart.
and those kind of stuff. Because as you said, like I often talk with the government people as well. I mean, like it's me and then the government people.
Look at you, boasting, like name dropping, and
Yeah,
saying
of course,
to the
of course.
government.
This is
So full of himself.
I know. I'm full.
Even more than I'm full of myself, and that's
No,
the
but the
same
thing is, all I see was everybody was playing on their phone until I
Until-
started doing comedy.
Yeah. Yes.
Because otherwise people start looking. Because, okay, at least there's something interesting going on, you know. So I'm helping them. And that's why I think more, during the pandemic, I asked Mo to help me with doing like writing classes, comedy writing classes.
Oh, nice.
Because it also helps. It helps with everywhere.
Absolutely.
You're presenting, you're doing pitching for clients or whatsoever. When you have a little bit of comedy there, it helps.
It's a
And
very powerful tool.
when you make them laugh, your confidence level goes up. Like,
Also for sales.
yeah, and sales, of course, right? It doesn't help that we look like this, right? You know, if it's girls, usually
Well,
different. Yeah,
I'm a bule, so I'm fine.
fuck you. No, just fuck you. Okay,
But hey, you go to Italy and you're like Indonesian, and they just
oh really?
no.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Indonesian is like fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. But if you say I'm from Bali, because they don't know that
They
Bali
know
is in
Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Oh, yeah,
Just
that's
say you're
nice
from
stuff.
Bali. Yeah.
Okay, so how many people have you brought to Bali? Like from Italy? I mean, you're having your good life. You're having
Nobody.
You don't? Fuck you, man! Like promote our country, bro.
No. In Bali there's enough bule. No more bules in Bali. No, Like after me, they should have closed the frontier. No.
Fuck off.
No, I don't want. Bali's too many tourists already.
Yeah, I think we're going to start kicking people off and starting from Italy, I guess.
Fantastic.
Maybe, yeah.
But I'm Indonesian already. So.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
But I like in my heart.
Oh,
I am.
okay, in your heart. Yeah.
In my heart, I am.
Okay, say like 5 sentences in Indonesia
Uh,
to prove your Indonesianness.
Okay. Saya Chris. Saya bule kafir. Saya bule komika favorit kalian.
Okay. That's 3. We got 2 more.
Aku cincau kamu dan I'm on my tour. Please come and buy the tickets. Tolong beli tiket
Awesome.
sekarang.
Awesome.
Let's go. See, that's an organic applause. You did.
Yeah. Oh my god. No, I'm leading by example. I'm doing applause first. But anyway, so why don't you learn any Indonesian?
I am.
Oh, you are learning right now.
You know why I still haven't learned Indonesian? And this is true because my wife is from Africa Selatan.
Okay.
Like if you have a partner from the country, then it's so much easier to learn that language. Because you can speak at home. Like none of us speak Bahasa Indonesia, so it's difficult.
Okay. So right now you're cheating with an Indonesian.
No, I not. What I'm saying is that I want to learn Bahasa, so I'm gonna start cheating with Indonesian just for you guys.
Because your wife just told me that she's also going to do that with an Indonesian. Because she wants
No,
to...
I found the guy for her.
Oh, cool. So it's a very open marriage, yeah? Okay, cool. That's why
She's African. She can do whatever she wants. She's much more stronger than me. So
I believe so.
So it's,
Okay.
I don't have a choice.
So, wait. Oh, that's actually interesting. So your wife is from South Africa.
Yeah.
You're from Italy. Do you meet in Bali?
Yes, and my son was born in Denpasar.
So your son is technically... Do we have a...
My son is a panda. He's half black, half white, but he's Asian. He didn't like that one. Applause. Okay, see?
No.
I won them over.
That one was funny like 15 years ago.
Yeah, it was a meme, right?
Yeah, it was already meme. But, no, so is he Indonesian, your son?
No, because in Indonesia...
We don't have the...
Yeah, like in the US or in Italy, if you're born there, you get the passport immediately.
Yeah.
Here, no. He does. Right now, he has the South African passport, and then I'm going to make him have the Italian passport as well.
Why? Oh, also you can have two passports.
Yeah, because the Italian is more powerful than the South African. You can go to many more countries easily. Like, let's not talk about the Indonesian
Yeah, I know. I have a very inappropriate joke about that, so I'm not going to use that. But anyway, so any plans on moving back to Italy or South Africa?
Oh, please no. God, no. Like, Indonesia is home. I love Indonesia. Of course, it will depend kind of where my career will take me. Like, if it's not going to happen, but if tomorrow SNL asks me, hey, move to New York, of course I'll move to New York, you know?
If you don't, I will kill you.
Exactly, yeah, it makes
because
sense.
I'd rather die.
But no, I would. Now, actually, Bali is home, and I want my son to grow up in Bali. But now I'm spending more and more time in Jakarta. So right now, I live half in Jakarta. Yeah.
So, talking about career, right? We see a lot of BULE in Indonesia, in entertainment industry.
Really?
It's going, no, I'm not that. It's going in the other, it's going in the other direction.
Yes.
Right? They learn Indonesian so much. They try to be speaking Indonesian, broken Indonesian. You know that level of slapstick comedy?
Yeah.
Do you see yourself right now? Let's just talk right now, right? Maybe 5 years from now, you're very successful and you'll laugh looking at this moment. But for now, are you pursuing that kind of level that you get a lot of shows, you know, being in the morning show, being interviewed about your family life and stuff like what I'm doing right now? Or do you prefer to like keep on doing whatever your stand-up? Because we know that English stand-up don't have a place yet in Indonesian TV for now. Only in Suci.
Well, it started.
It started.
That's the thing. And that's why I'm very happy. Yeah, of course I want to be part of all the shows and I have fun coming and talking. And that's also part of the job. But I'm also a little bit of a purist. Like I wouldn't just give up stand-up.
Of course.
Stand-up is what I love. Of course, if Ernest come and say, hey, make a movie with me, I'll say, yes, please, Ernest, call me. You have my number, by the way. But I want to be the one who kick open the door. This is my goal. This is what I would have done if I would have won Suci. If I would have won Suci with the money, I wanted to start a scholarship program for Indonesian comedians that want to perform in English. Because this is the problem. Indonesia is a great country, okay? And is trending up. But Malaysia and Singapore are kicking Indonesia's ass when it comes down to comedy.
Yes.
Like they have Ronnie Chang, they have Nigel Ang, which I brought to Bali with the Mad About Comedy and Kunci, obviously. They already have big superstar internationally.
Harith, not to mention.
Yeah, who is Indonesia's? But the only one is now Panji, who moved to New York and he wants to become the first one. But and of course I hope and he has all the skills to do that.
Yeah.
But also it's a different thing because, for example, Nigel when he became big, he wasn't big in Malaysia already.
Yeah.
Like he became big internationally.
And then Malaysia.
Exactly. And then of course Malaysia were like, oh my God.
We claim you.
Exactly. He's ours.
Yeah.
But I want to open the door so there can be the next superstar can come from Indonesia.
Why not Italy?
Because I hate Italy. Like I don't like Italy. I don't. Otherwise, I would have been in Italy. But this is the thing also. Like many friends of mine call me and they're like, "Oh my God, now you're on TV in Indonesia. Why don't you move back to Italy and try to become a comedian in Italy?" And I'm like, "Why?"
Yeah, exactly.
Like Italy has 60 million people. Indonesia is 5 times. Exactly. Not only that, Indonesia is going to become the 5th biggest economy in the world. Like if you make it in Indonesia,
it's easier. Yeah.
You made it.
Yeah.
Or even when I went to perform in Australia, they said, "Oh no, stay in Australia. You have 30 million. Who cares about you?" Like Indonesia is a huge market, and Indonesia is the future.
Please do in China. I would love to see you do in Mandarin, man. You get like 2 billion, bro. Come on.
But just like I said during the final of Suci, I'm like Panji, went to New York to follow the American dream.
Go to
I'm following the Indonesian
dream. Okay. Oh, that's good.
Panji went to New York. I went to Bali because it's cheaper than New York, but I'm following the Indonesian dream. Yeah. Like he will go to Los Angeles and Las Vegas. I will go to Bekasi and
yeah, pretty much the same.
Yeah,
pretty much the same.
You know, Las Vegas, Bekasi.
Yeah, so Jakarta Bekasi is like Brooklyn to like Jersey.
No, Jakarta Bekasi is like New York to Mars.
Jersey. What? To Mars? Yeah, possibly. Oke, Bekasi tadi kalian baru dihina sama bule yang satu ini.
Saya cinta Bekasi.
Serang dia, attack him. Instagramnya ada di bawah ini, silakan mention.
No responsibility.
But yeah, I mean like the funniest thing for me when I heard about you from Regi before and everything else is like, yeah, there's this one bule who really loves like Indonesian comedy scene and stuff. He makes like community for that, and instead of just because we even have like for example like Malaysia have MACC, right? Like the Malaysian Alliance for Chinese Comedian or something, association or something for Chinese comedians. So it's like
that's racist.
Yeah, the Chinese descent because they speak in China in Chinese in Mandarin, right? So it's like they exclusivize if there's such words, right? They're doing normal comedy English everywhere else, but they do Chinese only from this place. I hope I'm correct. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, Jason Kwah. I'm really sorry about that.
On Instagram, just talk shit about it.
No problem. Malaysian don't care about this show. So, but anyway,
fair enough.
What I'm saying is like, instead, Regi told me that you're doing this and asking to Indonesian comic.
Oh, the more Indonesian, the better. Absolutely. And now, though, it's a little bit different. Now, I want to focus a little bit more on my career first. But yeah, like what I do is I also teach. I do rehearsals. I do workshop. I want more Indonesian to be interested in the English scene.
Okay. Do you have an insight or sort of observation about that? Because I think like one of the things that I heard a lot, for example, my own. I know you're gonna say I'm full of myself, but a lot of my international friends said that I don't speak like Indonesian in English.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, but a lot of Indonesians that I know might not have this level of proficiency in talking English yet. Do you think, in order to succeed, for Indonesian comedian to succeed in the English scene, they have to speak flawless English?
No, absolutely not. Actually, it gives you a character if you speak with an accent. Like, so it's not necessary. The important thing when you do comedy is that people understand you. Then if you have a perfect British accent or you have an Indonesian accent, that doesn't really matter. What it matters is if what you're saying is funny or not.
Tuh, Indonesian comedian, jadi nggak perlu ngeles dulu.
And also, that's the thing. Just like when I say a few words in Bahasa Indonesia and the Indonesian audience appreciate it, is also true the other side. So a Bule audience, if you try to speak English, even if you don't speak super well English, is going to appreciate you.
Drunk audience, is it a problem? Because, you know, when you're drunk,
Yes and no.
Yeah, because my friend said that when they're doing gigs overseas, when your audience are drinking, it's easier to get them to laugh, but it will also heckles and stuff.
But it's also it also comes from the comedy culture. Like in Australia, the audience is rough, so you have to be able to handle them.
Okay.
Because that's the thing. If you know that's coming, that's easier. You know, if you know people are going to shout at you. First of all, when people from the audience like respond to you and scream and want to interact with you, it also means that they're interested and that they're listening. Exactly.
Except when they're just saying racial slurs, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's. But then you have to be ready. So you might have to do a little bit more of crowd work, but it's fine.
Okay. Because good thing that you mentioned.
What I think is that it's never the audience's fault.
Yes.
That's one of the biggest problems that many comedians and the ego of many comedians have. If they do a gig and they don't do great, they say, oh, the audience was shit. The audience is never shit. If you're a good comedian, you're able to turn the audience around.
Yeah.
Like what I say to my comedians in Bali when they don't do a good job is, and they start blaming the audience, that's a thing that when you're new, you do.
Yeah.
Do you think if Dave Chappelle was here, he would have bombed? They're like, no. Okay, then it's not the audience, it's you.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's also like a concern that we have like a few years ago, seeing the Indonesian comedy scene is because it's the Indonesian stand-up scene, Indonesian stand-up scene is very different than from the other budding countries, right?
Yeah.
Because we started from TV first. We don't have our community big at first. We still have like TV, and then we start building the community. So everybody was making TV like their go-to goals and stuff like that. But lately, we're seeing that the community are strong at their own places.
No, actually, it's amazing, the community
Exactly.
that you have.
Right, no, it's
Indonesia.
awesome.
It's fantastic. Like stand-up Indo is... But also, that's the thing. TV is great. I love TV. But the energy that you get from a live crowd, you cannot beat it.
Yeah, it's a drug.
Yeah.
Like what you said. So,
Like I think Panji just performed in front of like 7,000 people.
no, for 4,000, is it? 4,000.
Well, even 1,000 is a lot of people.
Yeah, I know. He did 1,000 like 3 years ago before pandemic, I guess. 1,000. Sorry, no, it's about 4,000. If I'm not mistaken.
You know, this is fantastic.
Yeah, and especially he's doing it in the all round.
Yeah, the 360 is very interesting concept.
I think the first concept I saw about that was who's that guy? I kind of forget. No, Louis C.K. is it? No,
Yeah,
no.
Louis C.K. did it. Kevin Hart did it in stadiums because of
Dane Cook. That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
first one that I saw.
Dane Cook used to be
The
it guy,
Yeah.
and then they started saying that he was stealing jokes and
Yeah. Everybody was going down after that. But so my point is like, you're going to do your show.
Yes.
It's called a world tour, right? Aku Cincau Kamu.
yes,
It's a world tour
Yeah.
because right now all the cities that has been announced are from Indonesia.
yes,
And Mo has to do a clarification about that because people were attacking you, saying that it's a world tour. Why is everything in Indonesia?
because Indonesia is the
It's
center
your
of the world.
Oh.
No, not really.
No, I know you're just buttering them up. They won't understand that one, so we'll cut it up.
So yeah,
No. But then, like, do you have a city that you really want to perform to? Like, do you want a homecoming in Milan, or which city do you really want? I really want to perform here.
well, of course, as a comedian, to be able to perform like in Los Angeles or New York would be great. But I'm the most interested I am is to go to South Africa and perform.
Oh,
Yeah.
because it's your.
Because also when I do the show for international crowd, I talk a lot about racial issues and the fact that I'm white and my wife is black and we have a mixed child. So I want to know how they will react to my South African jokes.
So do you like do you see and observe like Trevor?
Oh yeah, well,
And everyone else. Like
absolutely.
I mean, Trevor's great. Like he's still being able to talk Xhosa and everything else with
Yeah.
the Afrikaans.
My wife as well. She talks Xhosa, Zulu, Zwana, Afrikaans.
Yeah, like so many languages at once. I think it's awesome to see. And are you going to learn Afrikaans as well?
Yeah, I'm going to South Africa. I think this year because I have to show my son to the grandparents, and I'm probably going to do a few shows in comedy clubs.
Okay, awesome.
So the world tour is going to be probably first. We'll see how the national tour will go, but it's probably going to be Malaysia,
Singapore.
which I'm going to have to change a lot of jokes because I talk a lot of shit about Malaysia in my tour. Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, and that was. In Australia for sure.
But it's okay though. I mean, I did 5 shows in Malaysia and they're okay with me trashing them as
Yeah.
well. So, but they love when you trash the Singaporeans and vice versa.
Exactly.
In Singapore, just trash the Malaysian.
So in Indonesia, I talk shit about Malaysia. Malaysia, I'll talk shit about Singapore. In
Yes.
Singapore, I'll talk shit about.
Yeah.
No.
But in Singapore, maybe there will be so many Indonesians there anyway. So Singapore is basically annexed by Indonesian.
And also, I have to be careful because I'm a BULE. So when I make jokes, for example, about Indonesia, I cannot cross the line.
Yeah, because our netizens will rujak you if you don't know what rujak is.
For now, no, which is a good thing.
Yeah, good. We will trash you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, last question possibly.
Okay.
Do you have, what's your hope towards this tour? Like, what do you want it? Like, you want to see, of course, we want to see jam-packed venues, right? Or do you want to find new jokes along the way? Do you want to have like local openers, local comedians that are going to talk in English? What's your big hope? Why now?
Okay. Why now? It's easy because after Suchi, there is a window of opportunity that I have. If I do this show, maybe in 2 years, people won't remember that I was the guy from Suchi, for example. So why now is because you have to strike the iron while it's hot, and it makes sense. One of the reasons why I want to do it, to be honest, is a very selfish reason, is because I want to see Indonesia. Like, because right now I've only seen Jakarta, Bali, and Lombok. So I want to discover Indonesia. This is such a beautiful country. It has so much to offer. And what a better way as a comedian to go there, do a show, and to connect with people. And because when you do a show, even though it's pretty much a monologue, because you talk and people react to you talking, you get a lot from that as well.
The energy.
Exactly.
Yeah. So basically you wanted to see Indonesia.
Yes.
Okay. Which city in Indonesia do you want to see most? Be careful with the answer.
All of them, because I love all of Indonesia. Now I want to see everything. The question is the opposite. Which Indonesian city you want to see me? Because I'll go everywhere. Like if you invite me to your house, I'll come and I'll perform for you. I want to see all of it. But Indonesia is also a huge country.
Okay.
But the tour is gonna be. I have the dates written here. It's gonna be. We're gonna start in Bali. We're gonna start at home. 22nd of January, so pretty soon. We're gonna do Bali. Then we have 11th of February, Surabaya. 11th of March, Semarang. 12th of March, Yogyakarta. 19th of March, Jakarta. We're gonna add more cities. We've been having requests from Solo, from other cities. So if you want me to come to your city, just let me know. I'll come. Just invite me. Give me a ticket and I'll come to you. And Aku Cincau Kamu. Tickets are on kuncicomedy.com. I have to learn how to do this promo in Bahasa Indonesia. So, okay, tell me what to say in Bahasa.
Okay.
I'll say in Bahasa. Don't.
You know my flavor.
Don't fuck with me.
Okay. No, so just say like, what do you want to say again?
Just come to the show.
Okay.
Whatever is going to be.
Jangan
fun.
lupa datang.
Tell me if it's...
No, I'm not.
Jangan lupa datang.
Ke Aku Cincau Kamu.
Ke Aku Cincau Kamu.
Beli tiketnya.
Beli tiket sekarang. Beli. Sekarang.
Linknya di bawah.
Di kuncicomedy.com.
What else? What else you want to say?
That's about it. He's going to be there. He loved the show. And he said that... Because here he talks shit to me. But offline he said, I'm his favorite comedian. He only watches me. Tell me your favorite joke of mine.
There are so many. I cannot tell which one.
You're so full of shit.
No. I actually watched one of those. The one that's also like what Abdel said as Jokodian, like a meme joke. You know, the bajai.
Yes.
Only God knows and himself. Like that kind. Like that's what. Because funny thing is, one of the reason I wanted to talk to him today. This is my first time meeting him. Exactly, actually. And one of the reason is after Suci. I don't know if you reckon this or not. I think his way needs to be followed by other comedians. I don't know which way.
Wow.
Because it keeps on popping up on my Instagram every single day. Like my thumb is so tired of having to skip every single
this
time.
guy.
Right? I have to keep on skipping. But I mean, like, I don't know what you're doing with your Instagram. I don't know how you
Paying ads, I just pay.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
But it's not a sponsored ads. That's why, I mean, like, I don't know what you're doing with it. You have a Christian Giacobbe and Chris Giacobbe comedy or something.
Yeah.
And then you have a Bali
Comedy Club.
reposting it as a nepotism. And, you know, like, you're misusing your power, of course, like an Indonesian. So basically, it's
Like,
just...
you know what? You are, and I love it. You're the first Indonesian because Indonesia usually are so polite. They always say no, in front of me. Like then they talk shit. You're the first one that really talk shit in front of me. I love it.
Because I think like I really want to get into the depth of this because I think one of the reason I think a lot of Indonesian comedians lack that kind of exposure. That right now everybody is looking at it from social media.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody. Right? I know you from Regi.
Yeah.
Because Regi keeps talking highly about you and everything, but I never saw you perform.
Yeah. You haven't talked to Regi in a while because I think if you call him now, he will say I'm a piece of shit. But it's okay. Keep going.
Why?
Yeah.
Okay. So long story short.
We had a falling out.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, that was the first time I know about you, and then after that, it's like I heard about you in Suci. But after that, everything I know about you comes from that Instagram.
Just say it. You're obsessed with me.
No.
Like you're a stalker. You Google me every day. You watch my videos. I see you comment every video of mine.
I was just Googling like BULE typical Indonesia, and then your name showed up first. So.
That's good.
Yeah.
Every publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, and then it's like
when I search, the only
Chinese
asshole guy it comes to me as well.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean like that's one of the reasons, because you keep on showing up that I really want to like, why is this guy? What do you have in mind? What do you have in your head? Like
that's the thing, work ethic. And work ethic is with everything, even being consistent with the posting. That's that you have whatever your job is. My job right now is to talk shit and hopefully make people laugh.
Yeah.
So the way for me to do my job is to keep on talking shit and keep on doing content. And those, of course, the tour, which is the most important thing, to connect face to face with the audience.
How many people have DM'd you asking for things since you became famous?
Oh, every day, so many. He was the first one. That's why I'm here. I didn't want to come to this podcast. It's not true. I'm very happy.
What's his Instagram again? I only know Bali Comedy Club because he keeps on misusing his power. So I think that's it. So jangan lupa show-nya Aku Cincau Kamu paling dekat tanggal 22 Januari di Bali. Setelah itu ada di Jogja, Semarang, Jakarta, Surabaya. Itu ending di March. Dia juga masih open untuk kalau misalnya ada kota-kota lain yang mau datang, bisa tag ke @Chris Giacobbe.
Yes.
GIACCOBE, GIACCOBE. BBE. One C?
One C.
GIACOBBE. Chris Giacobbe. And then Giacobbe, sorry, it's an Indonesian way. Right? And then tag juga mungkin Kunci Comedy, @KunciComedy. Ada .id-nya nggak?
.com.
No, the Instagram.
Oh, sorry.
@Kunci Comedy.
Maaf.
Bilang aja, saya mau Chris datang ke kota mana. Misalnya. Tadi ada Solo, we got maybe Makassar, maybe Pontianak.
Bogor.
Labuan Bajo, you've been there a lot.
No, I want to.
Okay, cool. Everywhere, guys, if you want him to come, kalau kalian mau dia datang, silakan langsung mention. Dan kalau kalian lihat kontennya Chris di Instagram, if you see his content in Instagram, block him. Thank you. Alright, thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Grazie mille. Thank you very much for coming, and I hope that you're happy with this peak, and good luck with the tour. Hopefully it goes beyond Indonesia soon enough, beyond that 5 cities so far.
Because you don't want to see me in Indonesia anymore.
Yes.
Okay.
I hope you make it in South Africa.
In Malaysia, you want to
Malaysia, claim him, guys. Okay. Thank you very much and good luck, teman-teman. Sampai ketemu lagi di Senang Ngobrol berikutnya. Like, comment, subscribe boleh. Lu mau hina-hina gue, Chris, terserah, nggak apa-apa. Tuhan yang bales. Sampai jumpa di acara berikutnya. Masih sama saya Dwi Kaputra di Studio Senang Karya. Bye-bye. Terima kasih sudah nonton video dari Studio Senang Karya dari awal sampai habis. Tolong klik subscribe, klik notifikasi atau nyalakan lonceng biar dapat notifikasi saat kami upload video. Bantulah anak-anak kami di Studio Senang Karya untuk bisa outing ke Pondok Indah Mall. Tonton video lainnya di sini.